According to the International Association for Study of Pain, IASP, it is described as a sudden, usually unilateral, severe, brief, stabbing or lancinating recurrent episodes of pain in distribution of one or more branches of trigeminal nerve. Although this definition only implies with the typical trigeminal neuralgia, it may vary, the symptom may vary from patient to patient. Now 60% of cases only one branch, either maxillary or mandibular, is involved, whereas in 35% of patients both the branches are involved. Ophthalmic branch of trigeminal nerve supplying the meninges and the eye is rarely involved. Incidence is high. Every year 4 to 13 new patients per lakh of population are diagnosed with trigeminal neuralgia. Aging and women patient is at higher risk. Trigeminal neuralgia is classified based on etiology as well as the symptom. Based on etiology, it is primary or idiopathic. As the name implies, idiopathic means it does not have any known etiology, but the patient has symptoms of trigeminal neuralgia. It can be secondary or symptomatic, whereas there is some primary cause inside the ganglion or outside that is causing the demyelination of nerve and thus the symptoms of trigeminal neuralgia. Based on the symptoms, it can be typical or atypical. Typical means the patient will be having the typical symptoms of trigeminal neuralgia as described by the IASP standards or in International Society of Headache. So that is the unilateral superficial lancinating or stabbing type of pain of very short duration, or it may be atypical wherein the patient may have bilateral pain, patient may have deep pain, patient may have continuous pain. Now the etiology, the most common hypothesis for describing the pathophysiology of the trigeminal neuralgia is the ignition theory that states that the trigeminal neuralgia is a result of abnormalities in the afferent neurons that carry sensation from the periphery to the central nervous system to the pons, and there is the hyperexcitability of those neurons that sends the impulses, and thus the patient feels that neuropathic pain. The reasons can be multiple sclerosis, compression by a vascular structure, mostly the superior cerebellar artery, arteriovenous malformation, any tumor in the region of trigeminal nerve root, stroke or hypertension, that is more common in women, so the incidence of trigeminal neuralgia is also more common in women. Charcot-Marie tooth disease and increased age are other contributing factors. So when there is demyelination of trigeminal nerve root due to any etiology before it enters into the pons, this area that is called as the root entry zone is where the peripheral myelin sheath of the Schwann cells meets with the central myelin sheath of the astrocytes, and the area of the nerve root that has been affected can spontaneously, it becomes hyperactive and it causes spontaneous discharge of impulse that causes the neuropathic symptoms. Now in these cases the patient with the trivial touch sensation, the patient will be having neuropathic pain. The reason being the A beta fibers that carry the touch sensation, they lie in the close proximity with A delta and C fibers that carry the pain sensation. So when the patient touches a non-painful stimuli will also lead to the crosstalk between the A delta C fibers and the A beta fiber, and the patient will feel the neuropathic pain episodes. Trigeminal, there is another theory that states that trigeminal ganglion, inside the trigeminal ganglion, hypermyelination can also cause the neuralgic symptoms. Third theory is the theory of vascular compression. The supporters of the theory says that as the decompression of the vascular decompression causes relief of the symptoms, so this can be responsible for the trigeminal neuralgia. or evidence from MRI and nerve conduction studies also support the theory of vascular compression. But all the patients with vascular compression don't show the symptoms of trigeminal neuralgia. Now, how can we diagnose trigeminal neuralgia? Diagnosis is basically clinical. So, the symptoms like paroxysmal attacks of pain, these are the criteria for diagnosing trigeminal neuralgia as given by the International Headache Society. So, they states that paroxysmal attacks of pain lasting from a fraction of seconds to maximum 2 minutes, affecting one or more divisions of trigeminal nerve, fulfilling criteria B and C. Criteria B states the characteristic of pain that will be intense, sharp, superficial or stabbing, and it will be triggered by the triggering factors. And C is attacks are stereotyped in the individual patient. Other symptoms other diagnostic criteria that may or may not be present there is no clinically evident neurological deficit, and it is not attributed to any other disorder. Now, as the symptoms, the diagnosis is basically clinical. We have no specific diagnostic modalities whereby we can 100% diagnose the condition. So, it is purely clinical. So, sometimes the symptoms are very variable. So, we need to differentially diagnose it from the headache disorders. Some dental pains also show the same symptom, TMJ disorders, other neuralgias or tumors. Now, investigations are the MRI scan. If patient represent with the atypical symptoms, we may suspect the multiple sclerosis or any tumor, and other are the evoked potential, quantitative sensory testing, electrophysiological studies. They also help detect the symptoms of trigeminal neuralgia. Preoperative magnetic resonance tomographic angiography is done to predict the outcome of the microvascular decompression if that is advised. Now, treatment part. First line treatment is the pharmacological. Carbimazepine is the main drug of choice for the treatment of trigeminal neuralgia. Its mechanism of action, it blocks the dependent sodium channels and may also prevent the synaptic transmission in the trigeminal nucleus, but it carries many side effects. So, the patient on carbimazepine should therefore have their liver function test, blood count as it causes the bone marrow suppression, and the electrolyte count as it causes hyponatremia and irregularity in the electrolyte levels. So, these have to be done on regular intervals for all the patients on carbimazepine. Oxcarbazepine, very commonly used these days because it has a better side effect profile and similar efficacy. Others are the gabapentin, pregabalin or amitriptyline. These are also used. Baclofen and lamotrigine are used as an add-on therapy with any of the above drugs. Then we come to the surgical part. Surgical part is carried out at 3 levels, from the least invasive to the most invasive. First is the peripheral neurolysis of the trigeminal nerve branches, whichever branch is involved, mandibular, maxillary most commonly. So, we approach that branch outside the foramen ovale and we do the neurolysis by using laser, chemical like alcohol, or we do the neurectomy. Advantages is that this procedure, peripheral procedure, are less invasive if we compare it with the other surgical procedures, and disadvantage is pain relief is of short term only. For 6 to 1 month we may need to redo the procedure again, and patient may also develop dysesthesia post procedure. So, this picture is showing the bipolar radiofrequency ablation of the mandibular nerve. They are approaching it percutaneously guided by the CT scan. Mandibular nerve outside the foramen, when it comes out of the foramen ovale here, so it is its position is checked and then it is ablated using the radiofrequency probe. So second is at the level of Gazerian ganglion. So here we have to enter the foramen ovale and reach the Gazerian ganglion, and we have to ablate the nerve tissue there. So it can also use the radiofrequency, chemicals like glycerol, phenol, alcohol, or mechanical by using the balloon compression. So we have to sedate the patient and give the local anesthesia at the site of percutaneous entry. Patient should be placed in supine position with neck slightly extended, and then needle is passed percutaneously into foramen ovale. There are two approaches. Either you can go through the submandibular approach or you can go through the frontal approach. Thank you.